Welcome back everyone. Let's go ahead and kind of do a quick little comparison between the M1 iMac that just came out and the M1 MacBooks that have been out for a minute. Now, I will tell you, you can't really go wrong with either one of these devices. I will definitely say if you're trying to get the most amount from your dollar standpoint, you actually will probably be better off getting the iMac. They are in some cases cheaper than some MacBooks comparatively, and do have, I guess, more capability from an iMac, but it's just not as portable. Me, myself, I use the M1 MacBook Pro for everything. It's the only device I use, and I like it. I love it. I have it connected to a 5K display and it looks great. But these 24-inch iMacs, without me having to spend the money on a display and an M1 MacBook, it would definitely cut the cost by a lot. My display itself is over $1,000. The display that I have costs the same as this M1 iMac, which is crazy. So if you want portability, get an M1 MacBook for sure, whether it's a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro. But I think the 24-inch iMac is the better option for sure. Now, you do get more color options from something like an iMac than on a MacBook, so that's really awesome. You have more customizability in that standpoint. And you do get, an Ethernet port in a way on the 24-inch iMac as well via the charging cable, little block that comes out. You're getting a better display on the iMac as well. You're getting potentially a better front-facing camera as well. They did say this is the best camera they have ever put on a Mac, and it's also the best microphone they've ever put on a Mac as well. Now there's kind of a double-edged sword here because with the M1 MacBook, you can easily put it closer to your face and kind of speak to the microphone directly. On an iMac, it's kind of a little bit more of an issue. It's not as portable, so you can't really take it into a different room if you want to, and if you want to talk to, you have to bring it closer, but I think that's kind of like a minor thing. Performance-wise, they are roughly going to be around the same performance. I think the M1 iMacs go up to 16 gigs of RAM, so you're still getting about the same amount of RAM for both models. They tap down at 8 gigs, but I will say performance is going to be roughly around the same. I have heard in some cases, because the M1 iMacs, they have high resolution displays, thus more pixels to push, they could potentially be slower, but that's not going to be that big of a difference that we're talking milliseconds for sure. I think when it comes down to both of these things, the main differences are, do you want to take a device with you everywhere, or do you want to have somewhat of a desktop situation? Do you have to take your device with you all the time? Then, you might want to be sticking with the MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, the M1 versions. But if you're okay with having your device just stay in one spot, you cannot go wrong with an iMac. Even though these ones aren't necessarily the ones I would upgrade to, I think the M1 iMacs are for sure solid devices. Again, I made a video on my main channel talking about why I'm not a huge fan of them, but I think if it came down to both of these, I would have rather have an M1 iMac than an M1 MacBook Pro. But there's really not too many differences. I mean, you're getting almost the same exact performance. Storage models are a little bit different. The M1 iMacs go up to 2 terabytes, which I think is awesome. You're technically getting more ports from the top tier M1 iMac than on any of the M1 MacBooks you can buy. But I do think the M1 MacBook Pro is I'm definitely keeping my M1 MacBook Pro. I'm not going to upgrade to an M1 iMac. I will be buying the M1 iMac, reviewing it, comparing it, all that stuff. So we'll see how it goes, but that pretty much covers it up. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, tell me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so me so much if you guys can hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly, everything else, every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.